Nikki's son, Ronnie, was at the wrong place at the wrong time and was tragically murdered. But Nikki was never allowed to properly grieve because there are two women, Shanti and Janae, who have both made shocking claims. You see, Shanti says Ronnie fathered her daughter, Sair. Janae claimed that Ronnie fathered her son, Jaden.
I just want to know if these are my grandkids. I want some a part of my son.
Let's talk about Sair first, all right? What did Shanti say to you?
She told me that Ronnie wasn't the father.
Or was not the father?
Was not the father. And then when I asked Ronnie, he said he wasn't the father either.
It was not the father.
Yeah, so then when my son passed away, she came up to me and told me that he was the father.
So let's move on to Janae, all right? Ronnie had passed.
Yes.
Then she comes up on Facebook and says all of a sudden that her little boy, Jaden,
yes. Jaden was Ronnie's son.
Janae had another guy tested, right?
Yes.
So both these women had other guys tested, and that fact particularly is why you doubt whether these are your grandkids.
Yes. Yes.
So,
and I want to know if these are my grandkids or not. That's all I ask.
Okay.
I don't want no maybes or none of that. Are these my grandchildren? That's all I want. That's my son.
You didn't think... Did you think that Ronnie was the father at first?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
But
she was upfront with me.
I told Nikki the truth from the beginning. I did have a boyfriend. I did cheat on my boyfriend with Ronnie.
Yes, she did.
I did.
When I first met her, she told me the truth. It was two guys, Ronnie and somebody else.
She always denied this baby. She always denied that.
That's why I don't know what they talk about when it's with them, but the conversation I had with her, the proof of my other DNA test is in the system downtown.
So, Janae, so you had a DNA test on your boy?
Yes, I did.
And you were more than certain after the test came back and he wasn't the father, right?
Yes, the moment the test came back that day, when it came in the mail that my ex-boyfriend was not the father, I got in touch with her other son and was like, we need to talk. I told her the truth from the beginning. I don't know what they were talking about, but I never lied to her.
Do you think that Sair and Jaden look alike?
No. No. My son looks just like me, and her daughter looks just like her. My son looks exactly like me. But them eyes is not mine. That nose, that's mine, but them ears aren't mine either. He looks exactly like me, but he does have some Ronnie features. But Jaden and Sair, they don't look nothing like to me.
Well, we've got a 2-year-old mystery that we can settle right now. And what we're hoping is that Nikki comes out of this with 1 and maybe 2 grandbabies. We'll find out. When it comes to 2-year-old Jaden, Nikki, Ronnie is not the father. When it comes to 2-year-old Sair, Nikki, Ronnie is not the father.
It's okay. It's okay. You know what? I'm going to be the bigger person.
Yes, you are.
I'm going to be the bigger person. It's okay.
Everyone, let's welcome Quatira to the Maury Show. Now, Quatira was always told her biological father was a man named Bobby. Tragically, Bobby was murdered just 2 days before Quatira's first birthday. Now, Quatira says for the last 2 decades, she's tried to have a relationship with Bobby's mother, Cheryl, but Cheryl does not believe her son fathered Quatira and has refused to acknowledge that Quatira is her granddaughter. So today we've given Cheryl a grandparentage DNA test, which is just as good as any other, and we're going to uncover the truth later in the show. Okay. You just firmly believe he was your father no matter what anybody says?
No matter what no one says.
Is it because what your mother told you, that he was your father, and that's why you believe it?
Yes, and she never lied to me.
Was there at any time a connection between you and his mother, Cheryl?
Never.
Didn't you call her up and say, Grandma, one time?
Yes.
What happened?
She said that, don't call me that because I believe that you aren't my son's daughter.
Right. Your mother says that Bobby, even after you were born, never wanted a DNA test. But Cheryl, his mother, says that he told her, I'm not going to acknowledge this child until I get a DNA test. So who are you going to believe?
My mother.
Cheryl says she refuses to claim Quatira as her son's child without a DNA test. Watch.
My son Bobby was shot and killed in 1997. A young man robbed him and shot him and killed him. I just didn't want to believe it. So I started telling the cops that they were lying and that it was somebody else. It had to be somebody else. People don't understand it's a terrible thing for a mother to lose their child. You can't even find the words of the pain that you feel. I can still feel it when they told me that Bobby was dead. I can still feel it. I have always had doubts about Quatira because of the circumstances. Bobby wanted Barbara to take a DNA test, and Barbara refused to take the DNA test. I myself asked Barbara, will she take a DNA test, and she wouldn't do it. This right here is not my fault. After my son passed away, there was no reason for me to deal with a baby or a DNA situation. One day, Quatira called me and said, hi, Grandma. I told her that only my grandchildren calls me Grandma. So please do not call me Grandma. Quatira's anger is toward the wrong person. She should not be mad at me. She should be mad at her own mother.
Okay, everyone, here's Cheryl. Cheryl, come on out. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Maury.
Thank you so much. Y'all really haven't met in person?
No, I haven't seen her.
Let me ask you one quick question. Does she remind you of your son?
Not really.
No.
Not really.
How come it's been 25 years that...
Well, Maury, her mother and my son, Bobby, came into the job one day, and Barbara had her. She was a little baby. And my son said to me, he said, Ma, who does this baby look like? I said, I don't know. I've never seen a baby before in my life. I said, why are you asking me that question? He said, because Barbara says that it's my baby. I said, what do you say? He said, Mama, Barbara was going with this guy, and they broke up, and I went with her right after that guy. So he said, it's too close to tell. It could be his, it could be mine. He says, so I told Barbara to clear it up. I want to do a DNA. And Barbara refused the DNA. And I asked Barbara myself, I said, why would you refuse to do the DNA if you're so sure that it's my son's baby? And she said, I just believe in my heart that it's your son's baby. So if he didn't claim her when he was living, I'm not going to claim her now that he's gone unless a DNA is done.
That's a damn lie. That's a lie. Not to be disrespectful or anything, but Cheryl, first of all, your son, Robert Price, never asked me for a DNA, and when he first seen Quatira, Maury, my sister actually snuck and took Quatira to see
Barbara,
Rob.
I don't even want to hear that because that's a lie. You're going to tell me that I did not see you and my son in the diner? No, you're lying, Barbara, and you know that you're lying. And it's a shame that you are doing this to your daughter.
If it's all a lie, why was her name in your obituary? Why was her name as your daughter? And I have a son by you, Miss Cheryl. My son is 24 years old.
Her name was in the obituary.
Like Bobby.
Her name was in the obituary, Barbara, because when I had to bury my son, and you will never know what it feels like to bury my son until you have to bury one of yours. And I hope to God you never have to go to that. But when you asked me to do that, I was basically trying to make it through Bobby's funeral. And I just went ahead and did it. And I know that I was wrong. for doing it, okay? But I just was trying to make it through my son's funeral. And you have no idea what I went through. And you know how close me and Bobby was.
Today, when they read the results and Rob is my father, how would you feel telling my mom, I wish I never done that, putting my name in obituary?
I wouldn't feel nothing.
You know why?
If you, no. You know why? Because I am going by what my son says. I will stand on his word until the day that I die.
And what happens?
Okay?
What happens?
And if you are the grandchild,
Yes.
then I will accept you. All of my family will accept you. We have already said that.
But Cheryl, Barbara admits that when she first got together with your son, that she was going with another
Right.
guy. Mm-hmm. And that she, while she was pregnant, didn't know who the father was. Mm-hmm. But once Quatira came out and she looked at her, that's when she knew.
Oh, she just knew because she looked at her.
Is that right, Barbara?
Yeah, after I seen
How did you know? If you didn't know it before.
Looked at her and looked at Bobby because I had sex with Bobby. That's not no secret, Cheryl. I don't have nothing to hide.
Well, wait a second, Barbara. Bobby never denied that he was with you, right?
Right, Bobby never denied, and Barbara has been to my house.
Did Bobby ever acknowledge to you, after Quatira was born, that he was her father?
Yes.
Unequivocally.
He acknowledged
unequivocally.
it. Yes. Listen, I'm sorry, Miss Cheryl. You lost a son, but I lost a boyfriend. My kids had to grow up without their father. They was well taken care of. They lost out on a lot. But thank God that they did have me. Thank God that they did have the other side of the family.
If he acknowledged her, how come her last name isn't Price? How come Bobby didn't give her his name?
Didn't he pass away in the progress when I was going with him? Was he there when she was born? Didn't I say he learned it after she was born that was his daughter? Did we get a chance to do that? Did we get a chance to go take a DNA that you would say
You got
that he asked
a
for?
chance to do it the day that she was born.
You have another child, a
Yes.
son, who you feel is Robert's too, but he didn't want to be tested, right? So we left him out of this, okay?
Yes.
Quatira is very, very interested in proving that Bobby is her father. And you say, if I read that Bobby is indeed Quatira's father, you would welcome her into your family.
If she is my son's daughter, I love my son. I would welcome her just like that. She would be in our family. I'm asking what my son asked.
In the case of 25-year-old Quatira, Cheryl, you are the grandmother.
I am so glad you did.
And I'm not mad at you, and I'm not mad at my mother.
I got a part of Bobby again.
Thank you, Maury, so much.
Wow, you got everybody crying. Oh, boy.
And I definitely want the son to get tested now to find out if he's my grandson, too.
Thank you so much, Cheryl.
But I thank you, Maury, because I got a
thank you.
piece of my son
I
back.
thank you.
I thank
This
you.
was so important, not only to Quatira, but to you and to Barbara. And we're glad that we were able to facilitate it, okay? And I congratulate you on welcoming her like that.
Oh, of course. I love my son, and this is his baby.
This is Crene and her daughter, Crene. Welcome them to the show. Now, their hometown of Baltimore, Maryland, is very close to where I grew up in Washington, D.C. Now, if you know about Baltimore, it is a great town, but the homicide rate in the city of Baltimore has surged. In 2017, for instance, there were 343 murders in Baltimore, and that's almost one a day. And tragically, Crene's 24-year-old son, Davon, was one of those victims. So today, Crene and the authorities are still searching for Davon's killer. And Crene swears she will not rest until she gets justice for her beloved son. Watch.
It's been 1,003 days since I lost my son. Davon was my only son. He graduated college. He loved football. He loved his family. He was my son. That night, 1 o'clock in the morning, I got the knock on my door, and it was one of his friends. He said Davon had been shot. When they finally let me see my son, I was not prepared for what I saw. Davon managed to live for 3 days. He was not alone. We stayed there until he took his last breath. I need a minute. We still don't know who killed my son. He was murdered. I have no answers and no reason why.
It's been 1,000 days.
It's been 1,005 days today.
And you will not rest until you get justice for your son.
I will not rest until I get justice for my son.
Almost 2 years.
It's almost 3 years. He was shot March 14th of 2017. It's pure torture. I've never felt pain like this in my entire life.
Yeah. And it's important for you to be here for your mother and for your brother.
Yeah, I'm the oldest of 3. My brother was the middle child. My mom, you know, she's not the same. Seeing her not be able to sleep, eat, you know, knowing that it's people around that, you know, could be very well involved.
And one of the problems is that he had such a great future for himself.
Yes.
He had gone to school, and at the time, he was working 2 jobs.
He was working 2 jobs. He had recently graduated and got his bachelor's degree in business.
And wanted to go into business, right?
Yes. He actually wanted to go into business with his sister.
Yeah, he was going to
You all were going to open a salon, I think.
We opened the salon because he's with me in spirit. So I did it with him. 3 days after graduation for me, that's when I got the call about my brother.
And 3 days after my birthday.
And 3 days after her birthday. We talked about it, you know, what we was gonna do once I graduated, how we were gonna take over. We was like, hey, we're gonna open our own business, it's gonna be us.
You're doing it in honor of your brother.
Yeah, 2 years, in 2 years' time, I opened my business. Well, I opened our business in 2 years' time of having my license.
Okay.
Yes.
One of the problems, particularly in Baltimore, in a city like Baltimore, where there are so many murders,
Yes.
there are so many shootings,
Yes.
is that you get lost.
They get lost, but I'm not going to let my son be another number.
You called our show
I did.
because you thought maybe we could help.
I did.
So here's what we did. We contacted psychic Christopher Allen, who's been on our show, to see if Christopher's insights could warm up this cold case. So this is what happened when we sent Christopher to Baltimore to meet with the family. And for the record, Christopher, by the way, had no prior knowledge about Davon or his case. Watch. Without any prior knowledge whatsoever, psychic medium Christopher Allen.
Hello.
Hey, I'm Chris.
Sat down with Davon's mother, Crune.
Okay, so the first thing they're showing me as I'm focusing on you is I see our maternal grandfather's passed on, our mom's father.
Yes.
We have also lost like the nephew or son.
Yes, that's my son. Sorry, but I know he has them.
Where's the Christmas ornament? Because he wants me to say, I see Christmas trees, but he wants me to bring up the ornament, like his ornament.
I've removed them. Can I get them?
Did you remove them for the show?
Pretty much, yes.
Cool. He wants me to say, don't let these TV people tell you what to do. He wants me to joke about, like, in the car rapping.
Yes, I do have videos of him in the car rapping.
Okay, just wants me to joke about that. Is there a house with a stripper pole?
When my mom got married, I took them pole and chair dancing at a studio. Oh my gosh.
Just his way to make sure I bring this little person is grandma, I guess.
Yeah.
Your son's way to say, I'm here. I'm a part of life after me. You know, even the girls' only experiences, I guess, is what he wants me to joke about.
At that point, Christopher started to channel information about Davon's unsolved murder.
There are two people, one person that pulls the trigger. They were actually assisting.
It's definitely two people.
Two different races. And he wants me to make sure I share that. He wants me to bring up he was hit right on the side of his face, but he wants me to say, like, fractured cheek.
Yes.
His son's okay. And he wants me to make sure I just say, well, if he wasn't okay, he wouldn't be joking about grandma on a stripper pole. And this is his way to come through. So
thank you very much.
I hope this helps. You're very welcome.
Thank you.
So the reading was helpful?
Yes.
Everybody here's Christopher Allen. Christopher. Yes. Okay.
Nice to meet you.
I know, Chris, not only were you in their home, but you went to the crime scene itself. And did you pick anything up?
One of the things I picked up was I kept on seeing Halloween costumes, and you equated that to his birthday being in October. But when we went to the apartment, we realized that there was a witness that you shared actually maybe suggested that there was people wearing masks.
Yes.
Waiting for him.
Yes.
And so I really truly feel like this was an intentional event where wherever he was from, the prior hours before he got shot, kind of knew, you know, about what was to come.
I believe that.
So it's somebody who he might have known?
100%.
That he did know this person,
And I've always felt that way.
Right.
And there was an issue with cars or trucks, and what I saw was the truck description that they told you, let's move away from.
Right.
And I feel like they need to revisit this.
Yes.
I really feel like you need to hire a personal investigator.
I've been wanting to do that. The problem is finding one because they know that the police still have the case and it's not closed, so they don't, you know, I don't know which direction to go with that.
So what you're saying is, Chris, you think that this can be solved?
I absolutely do, 100%.
Right. And you're not going to rest?
I'm not going to rest until I get answers. Thank you.
And you feel close to, I mean, you get emotional about when you do solving these crimes.
I do, because, I mean, it's a family that doesn't deserve to go through this, and they are. And I'm just human. But your son wants to let you know, amidst all this, to celebrate life, not focus on death. It's your birthday today. Your son had mentioned that in the reading that this week was a birthday. And that's what he wants to focus on is, yes, focus on and try to find justice, but focus on the child that you still have.
Right. Anything you want to say to anybody out there?
I just want to say that if you know anything at all, no matter how small you think it is, just please call the number that they show.
There is an $18,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of whoever is responsible for the murder of Davon Fair. If you have any information, please call Metro Crime Stoppers at this number, 1-866-7-LOCK-UP. That's 1-866-756-2587. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you. Thank you.
September 14, 2011, my life changed forever. My son got shot twice. A year later, I decided to take my son off of life support. My son had one request. He said he wanted to make sure Brittany was having his child. There were rumors that Brittany slept with family members. So of course I need to know if Sincere is my grandchild. I want Sincere to be my family. I see those beautiful eyes. I know he's my son's baby, but I need to know the truth for myself. He was such a good man and an excellent father. I'm here to defend him so that he can finally rest in peace.
Your son, you can't grieve, can you?
Not until I have the truth known. I have to know the truth about this baby.
Your son was on life support for how long?
I kept my son on life support from September 14, 2011 to October 29, 2013. I chose to take him off life support because I couldn't see him suffer anymore.
2 years?
A year and a half.
Year and a half.
So that's how much I love my son.
Okay.
I really, really want this child to be his baby.
You do?
I do. I really do.
The reason you have a question, the reason why you have a doubt, is because he had a doubt. What did he tell you?
My son, when he
shot?
told me that she was pregnant, I asked him, I said, Daishan, is it your baby? He said, Ma, I'm pretty sure, but if the baby comes out dark-skinned, I want a DNA test.
Is that baby darker than he is?
Yes.
But you love him.
I love him. I love
Sincere.
him. Sincere. Sincere, Daishan.
You heard a rumor about Brittany, didn't you?
That she slept with a family member.
Okay, everybody. It's about time we meet the mother of the baby. Here's Brittany. Brittany, come on out. Hi, Brittany. How are you? Have a seat. Let's talk a little properly right now. Brittany, hi, nice to see you. Do you understand the doubt that Teresa has?
Coming from his mother, he's not here to say nothing. So yeah, I do, but she know that's her grandson.
Obviously, he must have said to her this. You know he said this to her.
If you knew Daishan, you know what I'm saying, he's gonna take care of his kids regardless. But of course he would say something like that, seeing as though he got ratchet baby mother on the hand, ratchet ass family members on the hand.
Is the baby too dark to be Daishan's?
No, because all his family is dark except for his mother. Him and his mother, that's it.
The big elephant in the room, Brittany, is that you might have had sex with one of their family members.
No.
The whole issue, the reason why so many people had so much to say is because they were saying that you had sex with somebody in my family. So that's why everybody had coming into me. Because when Daishan was in the hospital, I don't want to hear nothing about nobody but him. But was it me who brought these rumors, or was there rumors?
It wasn't her.
But was there rumors?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so with the rumors, and yes, I told you from the beginning when Daishan mentioned about you having a baby, I was shocked. And I said, Daishan, is it your baby? He said, Ma, I'm pretty sure we planned the baby, but if the baby comes out dark, because my first grandson is my color and his color, but my daughter is the baby's color. So I have 2 bright-skinned children. So it can happen. But of course,
you want this to be your grandchild.
I have his name tattooed on me. I have the oldest grandchild tattooed on me, and I have my son. That's how much I believe that this is my grandchild. But I just want the truth.
I have something to say. Here we go.
Yes, that's what we need. Right there.
When it comes to 2-year-old Sincere, Daishan is the father. All right? Okay? The circle is closed. Huh? Everyone, this is Heather, and Heather is here because of some very unusual and devastating circumstances. 2 years ago, Heather says she was engaged to the love of her life, a man named Anthony. Now, shortly after discovering she was pregnant with Anthony's now 9-month-old daughter, he was tragically murdered. Today, Heather is here for a paternity test because Anthony's mom, Dina, does not believe that her deceased son is the father of this child. Now, to understand this story a little more, take a look at this. During the course of their relationship, Heather says she and her fiancé Anthony talked about having children. But after 5 months of dating, their relationship took a turn for the worse, and Heather made the painful decision to separate and move out. But soon after that, Heather was surprised to find out that she was pregnant, still in love with Anthony. Heather was excited to tell him he was going to be a father.
Anthony was overjoyed by the news, and the two planned on moving back in together and giving their relationship another try. Tragically, their happiness was short-lived because 2 days after Heather broke the news of her pregnancy, Anthony was shot and killed in cold blood. According to reports, after a possible argument with a neighbor, Anthony was shot repeatedly in the hallway of his apartment building. Anthony was then apparently dragged into his apartment, where he lay bleeding and died. Today, Anthony's death has left Heather and Anthony's mother, Dina, with more questions than answers. Heather says she knows in her heart that Anthony is the father of her 9-month-old daughter, Tony. Heather is here to prove this to Anthony's mother, Dina, who claims her deceased son is not the father. Even though that's a recreation of what happened, you're all upset? Did you love him? Heather.
With all of my heart.
You did. He was a nice guy. He's a smart guy.
Oh my God, awesome. He was talented and sweet, and oh my God, he cared about every living thing.
You know his mother doesn't think that he's the father of your child?
Yes.
Why would she think that?
I have no idea.
Did you know Dina?
No, I didn't meet Dina until the day of his funeral. She had never laid eyes on me. I had never laid eyes on her.
Now, 2 days before he was murdered, you told him you were pregnant.
Yeah.
Was he happy?
Oh my God, the man cried.
And what happened about 15 minutes before he was murdered?
He called me. He asked me, would I come home? I told him I'd be home the next day after work. And he said, you know, I have so many things I want to say to you, things I want to ask you. We need to work through this, you know. He mentioned the baby, and then he told me that, you know, no matter what, I love you. And I paused, and I hung up the phone, and I didn't really think it would be the last time I'd ever talk to him.
Now, when you met his mother, I guess at the funeral?
Yes.
What was that like?
When she met me, she said hi, and I said hi to her, and she asked me, was I pregnant? I told her yes. And she seemed genuinely happy. She said, you know, she would help me any way she could.
This is what she had to say before the show. Watch this.
My name is Dina, and I'm here today to find out if my son Anthony fathered a little girl named Tony. Anthony, my son, was tragically murdered 2 years ago. My son Anthony was shot 14 times, and I believe in my heart that this was a crime of passion. Now a woman named Heather is claiming that my son fathered her baby girl, Tony. My heart tells me that this little girl is not my grandchild. I think Heather is a liar, and she's actually after money and pity, and I believe that she played a part in his death. If this is Anthony's daughter, I want her to know how wonderful her daddy was, and that he was my star.
That's a shock, isn't it? Is that a shock?
You have no idea. I love this man. He lived with me. We lived, we told each other we loved each other every day. He found out I was pregnant. He told the world. It had 2 days to know, and everyone we've ever met knew.
Now, the person who did this, right?
Yes.
Has been arrested.
Yes, convicted. He pled guilty.
Why do you think that she said that you could be involved in this?
I really don't know.
Well, let's ask her. Here she is. Dina. Dina, come on out.
I'm Maury.
How are you? You okay?
Not good.
Not good. Okay, come on over here.
I can't sit next to her.
Huh? You don't want to sit next to her?
No, I don't.
Wow.
No.
Dina.
No.
She could be the mother of your grandchild.
She had something to do with his demise, okay?
How do you know that?
Because I talked to the prosecutor, okay?
And what did he
Morally,
say?
she's responsible. Get real once in your life, Heather, okay? You're just lying to get money okay? And attention. Everything's about you. What about his candlelight vigil, Black on Black, held in Cleveland, Ohio? Do you remember that night?
Yeah.
It was all about you. It ain't about you, okay? It's about my son, my star.
Is that your son?
Yes.
Those
this
are
is
your
Anthony.
the ashes of your son?
This is Anthony.
You brought them with you?
He needs to be here.
Put them right down here. Now let me get this straight, Dina. Why don't you think that your son's the father of this child?
Because the night before, Anthony called his and he told him, this is crazy. I got to get out of there.
There is no possible way conceivable that I was involved or there. I didn't even know the idiot who did it.
Why do you keep dishonoring his memory, okay? This child was everything to me. This was the end of my family. Do you realize that?
Dina, is it all about money?
Apparently. That's what I believe.
Dina, if
What money?
You had your mother, you lost her. You said your son, you lost him. You said you had nothing. In about 30 seconds, you might have a grandchild. What are you going to do?
I'm going to raise her as I raised my son.
Now let me ask you this. Does that child look like your child?
After saying that?
In all honesty, he favors color.
Well, let's find out right now. Dina, I hope that you get into this child's life because
I will.
Guess what? You deserve to have family.
She needs to know about her father and how wonderful he was.
Okay.
I've been begging since the beginning. This was never about money or anything else.
When it comes to 9-month-old Tony, Dina's deceased son, Anthony, is the father. Now, I want to tell you, a lot of bad blood between the two of you.
All I wanted to do is tell the truth once and for
Well,
all. Honor his memory.
I'm telling
That's
you.
all I ask.
I'm telling you right now.
He was
Dina,
nothing but
let
good
me
to
tell you.
you.
Let me tell you what this.
That's true, he was.
I know
So
that.
why would I have a reason to even do this? What can possibly be my
Heather,
reason?
It's all
Heather.
about you, sweetie.
Heather,
It's
calm
always
down.
all about you.
Dina, calm down. If the two of you, okay, have all these problems and this conflict, please let this beautiful, innocent child be a bridge between the two of you. We'll be back right after this. Thank you.
I have been telling the truth since the damn beginning.
No, you haven't. No, you haven't.
What would be my reason, Dina?
I don't know.
What would
Maybe
possibly
because
be
he
the
called and said
reason?
he was leaving the following morning and you didn't want
He
him to
never
leave?
called me. I left because Anthony said he was not leaving.
Why did you say I was estranged from him? That was a lie.
Your son
I was
told me
somewhere.
that.
I was
Dina,
somewhere. I
how
could
would I
not
know
be
that?
there for him.
Hey,
If I had had a choice, I would have got him the hell
And
away
neither
from
did
you.
I. I asked him.
Everyone, please welcome Ray Sean to the Maury Show. Now, last year, Ray Sean lived every mother's worst nightmare when her son Gino was murdered. Soon after, a woman named Shariah came forward and revealed that she had been in a relationship with Gino and that Gino was the father of her son, Josiah. Now, everybody sitting next to Ray Sean is Destiny. Please welcome Destiny to this. Now, Destiny was engaged to Gino at the time of his death. And she, by the way, has a child with him. Here's the twist. Shariah is Destiny's sister. So let's get this straight, everybody. You're both here to find out if Gino had a secret affair with Destiny's sister, Shariah, and had a baby before he passed away.
Yes. I'm here for my son, Gino. He's not here anymore. Somebody took his life less than a year ago. And I'm here. He can't speak. I'm here to speak for my son and get the answers that I need.
So I assume with all of this, you haven't even had time to grieve.
Grieve? I have not grieved. I went from funeralizing my son to being a mom all over again.
By the way, when did you find out that Shariah might have your grandbaby?
I think it was maybe a couple months after Gino was murdered. First, Destiny told me that Shariah, it was a possibility that Shariah was sleeping with Gino before he passed away. And then maybe a couple of months after that, then I found out that she was supposed to be pregnant from my son.
Okay.
Yes.
Destiny, your sister. Did you know about this?
I knew about it somewhat, you know, like
you
I was
kind of felt it, but you didn't really know it?
Exactly. I didn't know, like, for a definite that they were.
Did you talk to your sister about it?
Yeah, I did talk to her about it. I asked her about it, and she denied it.
She denied it?
She denied it several times.
Was this while Gino was alive or not?
Yes, this is while he was alive.
Gino had your child. He was still alive when you had your child.
Yes.
Was he a good father?
Yeah, he was a good father. He was a good father to all of his children.
Yes. He's a great father.
But then apparently, Destiny, you found some text messages between Gino and your sister.
You found text messages between her and Gino before he died?
Yes. Yeah, it was some text messages in the phone stating that my kids should be her and his kids and that they should be together.
Do you think baby Josiah is your grandson?
I don't know, Maury.
Take a look.
I don't know. I mean, I see some resemblance, but...
Does Josiah look like your child?
A little bit, yeah, he does.
A little bit. Here's the thing, I have to figure this out. Now, if Gino is proven as Josiah's father, your kids will be related how?
There would be sisters and brothers and cousins.
Cousins and sisters and brothers.
Yes.
Everyone here's Shariah.
But I just want to say, I just don't understand how you slept with your sister's man. I just don't understand that. I mean, you knew both of y'all was, you knew they was together.
Because me and Gino loved each other, and Didi knew that.
When all that happened?
He admitted it to me, that he loved me.
When you called me and told me, Miss Rayshawn, I got something I need to talk to you about. Okay, what is it? I'm pregnant and it might be Gino's. Okay, Shariah, how many times? I mean, you and Gino just slept together one time, you know, whatever. I mean, it didn't get
to multiple times.
I know, but you told me when you first called me, you told me you and Gino just slept together, and it was another conversation that I had to ask you. Well, did it happen more than once? And you said that's when you said yes. So I mean, but you didn't never tell me. Put it like y'all had an ongoing relationship. How you do something like that?
How long were you and Gino together, Shariah?
It was for years, Maury. Like, on and off. We was messing around for years, Maury.
For years?
Yes.
What? Girl, that's crazy. Oh my, even if Gino didn't have, everybody know Gino love the women. Okay, that's my son.
Yeah.
I know better than anybody. But I mean, that's your sister.
I get
even
the
if
feeling...
they didn't have no kids. Even if they didn't have no kids together. You don't do that.
Shariah, I get the feeling you don't have any regrets sleeping with your sister's boyfriend.
Well, of course I care about my sister, Maury. I'm not going to say that, but I'm not going to sit up here and say I regret it.
I mean, I don't understand that,
Shariah, you think Gino and Josiah look alike?
Yes. Around the eyes. I see it in their eyes.
Rayshawn, could you accept Josiah as your grandson?
I mean, Maury, yeah. I mean, he's a child. He's a baby. It's not his fault. You know what I'm saying? It's not his fault. You
know. In the case of 2-month-old Josiah, Gino was proven to be the father. Where are you going?
I just can't believe it. I just can't believe it.
What's the matter? You should be happy you proved it, right?
No.
Why not? Why?
Because me and my sister are never going to get along again.
Oh, it's because of your sister. Okay. Destiny. Destiny, come here. Come here. Come here. You know why she's upset? She's upset because she thinks that you and she will never, ever, ever, ever have a relationship again.
Come here, Shariah.
Here's the person who's going to make sure you two have a relationship. It's because of the grandma, okay? The grandma's here, and she's going to accept both these little babies, right?
Yeah, I do accept both of them. I accept both of them because, I mean, you know, them are y'all babies. And if they Gino's babies, they my babies. Everybody make mistakes. We all make mistakes.
You can raise those babies.
That's right. We're going to get those babies together and raise them the way we're supposed to raise them. So, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right.
You are not the father.